Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's Morning Briefing.
It's happening. The United States State Department has just announced that it will be moving its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem starting as early as May 2018. You heard that right, the deadline has been moved up to May 14th, just in time to coincide with the 70th anniversary of Israel declaring independence. At first, the embassy will operate out of the United States' current consular premises in southern Jerusalem, a compound that currently houses the consular operations of the Consulate General of Jerusalem. In the beginning, the site will host the ambassador and a small team, and the consular employees based in Jerusalem will be considered employees of the embassy. A ribbon-cutting ceremony is also set to be held in mid-May in honor of the move, and according to Israeli media, it may even be held on May 14th, Israel's Independence Day. The Israeli Prime Minister is celebrating the entire affair, which marks a significant acceleration in the White House's plans. United States Vice President Mike Pence had previously said the embassy would be open by the end of 2019, a promise made by the United States President on December 6th, when he also officially recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The date of the move is mainly seen as symbolic because the logistics of a permanent relocation will frankly take much longer anyway. In fact, most of the embassy staff will continue to work from Tel Aviv during the early stages of the move. The expansion may also see the United States taking over a property adjacent to the facility that it currently has in Jerusalem, but one thing's for sure, the White House is planning to plan and build a totally new embassy in the city. Republican Jewish mega-donor Sheldon Adelson has offered to cover the costs of at least part of the embassy, but the Trump administration is still considering the legality of accepting private donations. In a very interesting turn of events, Qatar is claiming to help Israel avoid another war in the Gaza Strip by funneling relief money to impoverished Palestinians in the coastal enclave. Qatar has been under an embargo by its United States allied Gulf Arab neighbors since last year for allegedly supporting militant groups like Hamas and backing the agenda of Iran. Qatar denies these allegations and has pushed back with outreach to the United States and its pro-Israel Jewish community. In fact, in response to Israeli and American requests, Qatar has stopped hosting the deputy leader of Hamas. Now, with Washington's blessing, Qatar is funneling aid money into the Gaza Strip for impoverished Palestinians affected by the humanitarian crisis in the enclave. Israel is seriously concerned with the deepening poverty in the Gaza Strip, but both the Jewish state and Egypt continue to keep the enclave under a strict embargo in order to prevent Hamas from smuggling weapons. Well, Qatar claims that providing aid to the Gazan people will help maintain peace for both sides, and there's been reports of warming ties between Qatar and Israel, with the Qatari ambassador Mohammed Al-Ahmadi claiming he has visited Israel 20 times since 2014. Israeli officials have refused to comment on his alleged visits. In the wake of recent police recommendations to indict Prime Minister Netanyahu for graft, roughly 1,500 Israelis turned out Saturday night in Tel Aviv to protest government corruption. Many in the crowd also mirrored opposition demands for Netanyahu to step down, especially if charges are actually filed. Cases 1000 and 2000 involve a quid pro quo agreement with news agency Yediot Ahronot and receiving at least 1 million shekels in gifts from rich benefactors. Police have recommended charges of fraud, breach of trust, and bribery. Anti-corruption protests have been ongoing for months, but have intensified recently. Several more Netanyahu aides are being investigated for corruption charges of their own, and now 2 more cases are looking like they could possibly implicate Netanyahu as well. The so-called cases 3 and 4000 involve a submarine deal with Germany and another quid pro quo agreement between Netanyahu and telephone company Bezeq in return for better coverage on the Walla news site. Netanyahu continues to deny any wrongdoing, calling all of the above allegations delusional and a witch hunt. Additionally, despite all the mounting pressures, polls conducted over the weekend resulted in a gain in popularity both for Netanyahu and for his Likud party. Some 1,500 homeowners in Jerusalem have been long living in limbo since their Greek Orthodox landlord sold the property to then anonymous buyers last August. Well, they may soon get some clear answers, as the Knesset is expected to approve a new bill proposed by Kulanu Party Knesset member Rachel Azaria. The bill would allow the State of Israel to appropriate those lands, a move the Greek Orthodox Church calls illegal. But Azaria argues that the law will protect and provide answers to the thousands of residents who woke up one morning and discovered the apartments they bought are now located on land sold to unknown buyers. Those buyers are now revealed to be Jewish businessmen from London, the United States, and Australia, with a key shareholder in every involved company being Israeli mogul David Sofel. MK Azaria continued that Israel, quote, won't allow any private individual or even foreigners to purchase such large swaths of land in the capital city of Israel, end quote. The church is now convening to discuss a response, saying the bill will expropriate from the churches in Israel the elementary right to make use of the land that they own legally, calling it an unprecedented attack on the Christian minority. New satellite images reveal 2 Russian Su-57 stealth fighter jets being placed in Syria. The 5th-generation aircrafts are reportedly being set up for testing in real conditions. And while many Russian weapons have been tested throughout the Syrian conflict, a Russian official warned that the deployment was also meant to be a deterrent, quote, for aircraft from neighboring states which periodically fly into Syrian airspace uninvited, end quote. The comment has been taken as a clear jab at Israel following major IAF airstrikes in Syrian military outposts in response to an Iranian drone breaching Israel's northern border. But despite tensions being high between Israel and forces in Syria, including Russia and Iran, Israel continues to proclaim that any and all threats to Israeli sovereignty will bear a response.
That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.